Welcome, everyone, to Friday's Inspiration. Where are we? Here we are. Today, well, welcome, everyone. I love hearing where you are all from. We have a sleepy Sophia in Sydney. Wow, I don't know if that's you not being able to sleep or you're up early, 4 a.m. Welcome. We also have India here. And let's see, Sweden, great. Being ultra grounded, does it stop us from taking on others' energy? Um, well, we'll address all those issues. And so that's a great question. And thank you for asking that. Uh, and the answer is yes and no. So there can be lots of other reasons why other people interfere with your energy field. And we have, what is this, Portugal? Uh, but in Poland, okay, well, great. We have the Eastern Bloc being represented here. Well, today we are talking about, let me refresh my memory, why being grounded and present solves everything. It is so basic. And yet sometimes, we have people who are so obsessed with ascending that they've forgotten about basic grounding. And it's so important that we're going to go back to some basics. And I'm going to talk about four main areas in life. In fact, I'd love to hear some of your issues or ways, or you're wondering if grounding and being present would affect your situation. Um, let's see what else here. It's raining. Raining in Colorado. Yes. Oh, looking gorgeous. Great. Thank you. I never get tired of those compliments. I'm a Libra, so anyway. Denmark, great having you here, and Jalpa's from India. So welcome. We have the whole globe being represented here. So I want to talk about four main areas in life that some of your situations will probably bleed over into some of these, and you'll see how just these two things, these two very basic things, can influence and affect these main areas in your life. So the first one we're going to talk about is relationships. So say you're struggling in a relationship, having a hard time communicating. What does being grounded and present have to do with that? So oftentimes in a relationship, when things are not working out, it's usually because communication has broken down. And that's when the anger starts to rise. When we don't feel heard or understood, that makes us angry. That's usually at the root of most anger. And so when you've got all this angry energy in a relationship, and either you're fighting a lot or you're just biting your tongue and just holding it all in, the anger starts to build. So what happens is you leave your body. It's not comfortable sitting in all that anger and feeling like it can't be resolved, where you can't have a conversation, you don't feel heard. And so with all of this anger bubbling, and you're not grounded, so there's no place to release all this energy, it just keeps building up, and it's going to affect your relationship, so that all of that anger that you think you're managing is affecting everything. So all the words that you speak pass through that angry filter, and then that compounds the problem, right? So when we can be really grounded, ultra grounded, we're going to talk about, there's a fifth way. We added a fifth component to this getting ultra grounded, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. So anger is a very big thing that happens, and it affects our relationships. And another part that happens that affects relationships is when we're reacting from the past. Like maybe an old boyfriend did something to you, and now you're afraid that the boyfriend, or if he starts to act like that, it just triggers you and pulls you back. So that's not being in present time. That's being reactive to the past. And so when you can clear that past energy, bring yourself into present time, where usually most things are pretty fine, unless your hair's on fire. So those are two main ways that just can affect the relationship. The second thing I wanted to talk about is money. One of the biggest things that people are affected by today, whether you're spiritual or not, or it's just the biggest concern on people's minds. And especially since we have um, those people out there that control all the money, and forecasters, etc., talking about how money, paper money, is going to be replaced. So we're going to have a cashless society, and this creates a lot of fear for people, because this new, people are calling it Biden bucks. I'm not one way or the other, but that this new digital currency is going to make us much more susceptible to being tracked and monitored, etc. Just more control, right? And so that can pull you out into the future, worrying about what hasn't even happened. So that's one way this being present can really affect you with money. And with all of this fear, then what happens to our energy field? When we're in fear, we contract, right? We contract, and oftentimes we pull up that grounding cord. That's why so many of you don't have a grounding cord, is because you're not grounded. And so then there's no place for all of this chaos and fear and worry. There's no place for it to go. So it just stirs around, stirs around. Then again, you leave your body, not comfortable. And so that creates that issue. Then uh, if you've had trouble in the past, maybe you went bankrupt, or some big tragedy happened, or somebody stole your money, or something that's related from the past, and you're worried about things from the past that are not in the present time. So you're reacting to things from the past. And so that can definitely affect your money, because you're not being in present time. And so that's another way that being present or not grounded can affect us with money wise. And then here's a question on grounding. Can it be that someone cannot stay grounded by nature, like the energy pull is too strong? I'm not sure. Doesn't quite make sense to me. When I think about nature and getting grounded, like hugging a tree, that energy can never be too strong. That the pull of the trees and connecting with nature, in fact, is the best way, one of the best ways to be grounded. But we're not always out in nature. We're not always able to hug a tree or get out in nature with the trees and so forth. So we're going to talk about ways today that you can get grounded without being in nature. You could be in an airplane far from the surface of the earth and still be grounded. So that is also interesting and important, right? All right. So I don't know if that answered your question. Santi. I thought it was Terry. All right. So, and then another related issue that's related to money is with our businesses. So if we're operating again from the past, and we lost a business, or we tried to do some entrepreneurial endeavor, and when we put ourselves out there, all this fear showed up. We had this fear of being seen and heard, then we contracted, and then we had a lot of shame. Then our clients couldn't find us energetically. And so if you're reacting from the past, that happened in the past, it's going to be hard to move forward. It's going to be hard to put yourself out there again and try to be seen, or to have any confidence around your message, etc. So when we are grounded in our business, and there's also one of the things that I do when working with clients is we will create an avatar for your business and use the whole process of running your energy to the business, making sure the business is grounded and that all of the energy is flowing through the business. So it's become a really fascinating and great tool to use to help our businesses feel grounded and confident and like it's going to go somewhere. It has a purpose. And, we just get all of that all aligned. And then, when you have, this is unrelated to grounding and being present, but when you raise your money vibration and get aligned to that and in your business, you can see how that just takes it all to a whole nother level. So that's 3 areas: relationships, money, and business. And then one other area I wanted to talk about was about health and wellness. So you probably all know or realize that some of the greatest causes for dis-ease, that means not having ease in the body, is stress. So there's lots of reasons for stress. Anytime we're worried, anytime we're in fear, as we talked about before, fear causes the body to pull up that grounding cord. And so when we have all of this stress in our bodies, it creates a plethora of problems in our body. In fact, I see this over and over and over with people who have physical problems. Now, I'm not saying that what we do here is meant to replace a doctor. It's all meant to work in harmony and in conjunction. However, um, when the body is in a lot of stress and especially holding the energies of fear and anger, anger is contributory to a lot of problems that have inflammation, all of your itises, arthritis, um, any itis, any itis. I'm drawing a blank right now. So any of the itises, that's inflammation. And it's never, I've not found it to be not the case that I haven't found massive amounts of anger in somebody's body when they have any of the itises. So always found that fascinating. And so being able to release the anger, the fear, because we have a good grounding cord, we have a really effective grounding cord, and we're operating from the present moment, then we can feel comfortable to be in our bodies. See, a lot of you are, when you're not grounded, all that stuff collects and then it doesn't feel comfortable. You leave your body. And when you're not fully present and fully occupying your body, then you're not listening to the messages that are coming through. You're not listening to that headache that says to not be so angry. You're not listening to the messages that say, probably not best to eat that thing that you're about to eat, or you maybe need to drink more fluid, or maybe you're not getting enough rest. So you're not able to hear those messages because you're not fully in your body. And so then the body starts to rebel. It'll knock a little louder and a little louder and a little louder until it finally kicks the door in. And next thing you know, you're in the hospital because something failed or some great thing is now happening. So all of these things, we're going to do a little MediClearing here in a minute, and we're going to get ultra grounded with this new 5th component. And but I'm curious to see if you guys have questions about maybe some of this stuff. Let's see. Grounding centers in earth time and space, so keeps through momentum going, isn't it? Well, we're not really grounding to time. We're just we're just creating, it's like having it's like having a big plumbing pipe from your house, and it carries all the garbage away. So that's unrelated to time and space. Uh, it's just a place mechanically where all of the energy is able to flow and release to. So it's not really related to time or space. Should we ground many times during the day? I believe you should. Absolutely. I check throughout the day. And especially if you're starting to struggle, or you feel worried, or you feel angry, check your grounding cord. And and yes, thank you for the reminder, Roma. I hope you're sharing this with your friends and families. And I love that there's more and more people showing up here because you realize how effective this is and how helpful it is. And even the recordings, right? Even the recordings, many of you listen to these. In fact, the majority of views for these presentations are by people who listen to the recordings. So you all know how effective even the recordings are. So please share, like, subscribe, click the bell notifications so that you know when we're going live. How should we ground each day? That is a perfect question that you will see when we start the process of grounding our energy. I'm going to walk you through the whole process. My son has trouble grounding after what happened in a 2-month ago event. He got much better, but still would love to get better. So your son is grounded right now. So maybe there's other things that are related to what he's experiencing that are not related to grounding. Could you speak to the link between trauma response and grounding? Like when under immense pressure trying to ground, yet the default more is to fight or flight. Yes, absolutely. So when we are in that that fight or flight, we're flooded with fear, and so it's kind of like moving in opposite directions, where this part of us wants to contract or run or flee, and that the other part that needs to get grounded. And so this is where being mindful and conscious about everything. And the more that we practice this, the more that we're checking, you ask the question, should we ground throughout the day? Absolutely. The more conscious you are and aware and mindful of whether or not you are grounded, it's going to be second nature when something happens. It's like, am I grounded? Like you're just going to boom, send down that grounding cord if it's not grounded already. And that will help you address whatever is going on. And so I've talked in the past about how, wanting to release all of the excess anger. And that's not to make anger bad or wrong. Like in a response situation like this, you need that anger, right? You might need that anger to stop a situation that's threatening, or to flee, or to in those situations, you're not trying to eliminate your anger. You're using your anger to get something done that can be life-saving. So anger has a very important place. How do we check our grounding cord? Well, there's several ways, and that's a great question. So one is you can ask. You can, when you start to get connected to your inner voice, that part of you that knows everything, that you can just ask, am I grounded? Now, I also, I use my hands a lot because my hands can feel for things, right? So I will, and when I work with clients, I will use my hand, and it's like I'm feeling if there's a grounding cord that goes from the base of the spine. Is it starting? Can I feel the energy as it goes down the grounding cord, or does it just stop right at the grounding? If it stops right there, then you're not grounded. So that's a really, really great question, because that's so basic, right? How do we know if we're grounded? Okay, good. Totally resonates, Sophia. I ground myself and meditate every day, but I feel that I'm invisible in my business. What happens? Well, actually, so I'm glad you're asking this question because as I'm checking, you're actually not grounded. So this is, I'll explain why that's the case. And so this is what happens, and it's very common um, with people who meditate even on a daily basis. So they think they're getting grounded. They close their eyes and they think that they're getting grounded, but what they're actually doing is they're using this space to leave their body. Like their eyes will roll back and their energy will move upwards and they'll actually leave their body and they feel great because they're not in all of that energy anymore. So and so they meditate every day to experience that feeling. But the truth is, and you're not alone. So this happens, is really common. This happens a lot. Uh, and so now that I've brought your attention to it, now you are grounded. So great awareness. And what was the other part of your question? Invisible in your business. So that often relates to shame. So you do have about 50% shame. So that's going to affect your ability to send a frequency that says, my door's open, come and see what I have to offer. Instead, if you have shame, it's like, oh, it's kind of like this, where stay away, but come. So it sends mixed messages and then people don't come to you. So that's the energetics behind that. Um, um, Okay, so we're not addressing personal issues here. My suggestion would be to get a temperature report so that you can get a full picture of what's going on with you currently. And that way you can address the energies that are actually that are in your field that are beyond just getting grounded and being in present time. Because there's lots of reasons why you might have headaches, why your business is not thriving. Maybe you have a low money vibration. That's something we're not even talking about today that can totally affect your business. So this is a report that I do. Thank you for putting that up, Roma. This is a report that I do for to evaluate where someone is vibrationally. I measure more than 50 different things without ever speaking to you, knowing anything about you. I don't need to see a picture. I don't, in fact, the less I know, the better. I'm just tapping into your energy field. So we're working with quantum mechanics and that quantum field. And so from there, you get to see what I see. And from there, I also tell you where all the stuff is that's blocked and where, if you're a healer, if you have your own tools. In fact, healers get this report all the time because then they can see exactly where it is. Then they can go and use their tools to clear it. This report comes with a 30-minute conversation where I can double check. Did you clear it all? Is there still some left? Maybe you're not a healer and you don't have a clue. So there's options in there on how to get some help as well. So it's a very effective tool, and it's invaluable because you can't get from A to B if you don't know where A is. If you don't know where your starting point is, it's really, really hard to get to B. So that's super important. How do you get a temperature report? Is there a link? Yes. In fact, Roma just posted it. So that's great. And grounding behaviors are related. Yes. So, Sophia, we did do some work together. And so it's great to do this for your son, and you can get some bigger help than just a band-aid. So and then yes, you can help your kids ground. Kids are very receptive to this kind of stuff, and it's easy. So you can When you're grounding, you can bring your kids in and say, okay, we're going to ground now. And you can make it fun. You can put down that tail and make it a fun thing. All right. So are we ready to get grounded? Um, Can't stand these live start musics and countdown. It sounds horrible and glad you don't. Well, actually, we did. We did today. So, yeah, we can't make everybody happy. That's for sure. So, we do the best we can. And all right, let's see if there's any other questions I missed. Does being grounded stop us from taking on others' energy? That was a question that was asked earlier. So the answer to that is no. However, uh, when you are grounded, you're going to be more aware of when things change in your energy field. So when somebody is starting to chord to you, that's when other people are going to be affecting your energy field. We're not talking about courting today, but I'm just bringing it up because it's a really important part of other people infiltrating into your energy field. And that's just one of about 5 energies that we need to be aware of on a daily basis that influence our energy field. That would be chords is one, fear entities, control beings. Now we have the watchers, and there's discarnate beings. So there's all these energies that can be infiltrating. We'll save all of that for another day. But let's see if there's any more questions, and we will. Otherwise, we're going to get started with a grounding. This shame. Okay, good. I'm glad you appreciate that explanation. And Ella, great having you here from Florida. Grandkids are coming tomorrow. Great. We'll show them how to get grounded. Grounded. Actually, you are grounded. Ella had an NSA and massage today, and doctor mentioned I have a lot of love and I'm blocking it. Your circle of reciprocity is moving, and the anxiety is the cord that's in your heart from your daughter. So that would be something we can address today because we're going to be checking on cords. All right, let's go ahead and get started, and let's get ultra grounded. Today we're going to be introducing the new component to grounding. So I'll just tell you real briefly. Is it 4 parts? 5 parts now. So grounding cord from the base of the spine, center of the planet, earth energy coming up through the legs and down the grounding. We're going to check that worry circle, grounding your hearts. And then the 5th and new component, if you're a woman, we're going to ground the ovaries. The ovaries, like a Y, is going to come down and merge with your grounding cord. Women do a lot of healing with their ovaries, and a lot of stuff gets collected in there, especially male energy. So we're going to ground those. And then for the men, so this is the 5th part for men, going to ground the testicles. So this is a new component that I've discovered over the last few weeks working with the men presentations I was doing, and noticed how the testicles and the prostate not grounded. So we're going to do that for the men today. All right, let's get started. Unless we have any more questions. Great to have you here, Terry. Can you ground while walking? Absolutely. You can ground while you're walking. I used to run my energy while I was on a spinning bicycle, stationary spinning bike. You can get grounded. You can run the energy through your legs, even though your legs are moving. You can get grounded from an airplane. In an airplane, you can put that grounding cord all the way down to the center of the earth. So it doesn't matter what you're doing. You can always get grounded. All right, even swimming, all of that stuff. Okay, that sounds amazing. Ovaries, my ovaries hurt before ovulation. Makes me feel like I'm coming down with the flu. Okay, well, let's clear that. And we're going to clear that, and we're going to get ultra grounded today and in present time. And we'll see what other stuff that I check every week, what else is here that you guys would need to get cleared. So, yes, I'm in the background checking. So we're going to first put down a grounding cord, that big pipe. You can make it really big, like you could drop a cantaloupe down this thing. And it's going to be very connected firmly to the base of your spine. And it's going to go all the way through all of the Earth's crusts, all the way into the center of our Earth. Now, I believe the Earth is hollow, but you don't have to believe that to get grounded. So, and we set that on release. It works like gravity, no effort in this. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to send roots down from the bottoms of our feet. And we're going to imagine, like a tree that goes upward, a big, tall redwood tree. Imagine the roots going that far down into the earth. And then it's going to spread out and intermingle with the entire root system. And it's going to wrap around the entire planet. This highly intelligent communication layer, this root system with the mycelium and the fungus, is very intelligent, and this helps to bring up more of the earth energy. So we've got those roots, and now we're going to start using those roots that are wrapped around the earth. We're going to start bringing up the energy of Mother Earth, abundance, the feminine, pure darkness, which is what happens below that surface of the earth, this transmutation of everything, where everything is birthed from this energy. So as we're bringing this up through the legs, so it's stopping right at the bottoms of the feet. So we want to bring this abundant feminine earth energy up through the legs and the ankles. The ankles especially is what helps us to have fun. So if you don't have any earth energy in your legs, you're probably not having much fun. So let's bring that up through the ankles. There we go. Through the calves. You can release some of that unused adrenaline. Through the knees. If you're changing directions, that's really helpful. And then through the upper part of the thigh, where you have access to more of your power. And then that energy is going to go down your grounding cord. So up the legs and down the grounding. Okay, great. The third part, let's check and see if you have a worry circle. So ideally, you wouldn't have one. Right now, it's congested out to the third layer of your aura, which it has to do with not feeling safe to step into your power. So we're going to pull in this worry circle. And we're just going to send all that energy down the grounding. And so this is one of the energies or some of the energies that I check every week. So right now, there is a control being, right at the root, right at the base there, preventing you from getting grounded fully. So we're going to use a black flame right at that root chakra, and this pure darkness is going to help transmute the energy of this control being so that it can't attach. So you just use your free imagination. It's how powerful we are. Okay, great. So now there's no worry circle. Great. So now we're going to make sure our hearts are grounded. So let's make sure the heart is 100% open first. It is. And it starts to get grounded, but then it stops. So let's see why. The answer is actually not in your heart. The answer is actually in your root chakra. So we're going to go down to the root chakra, out to that third layer. where there's some watcher energy. So we're going to use a rainbow flame to transmute this energy. You can put that rainbow flame right at the root and just trust that it has enough intelligence to go out as far as this watcher and transmute that energy. The watcher energy doesn't want the heart connected. All of these energies, they are very averse to heart energy. It's like kryptonite. Okay, there we go. Okay, good. So now let's see there. Now the heart's grounded. Maybe you can notice that difference. The fifth and final part to getting ultra grounded, we're going to start incorporating this every week now, is women. We're going to ground your ovaries. Now, if you want to rub your hands together and put a hand on each of your ovaries, you can do that to connect with them and just allow them to start draining like gravity. And that Y is going to merge with your grounding cord. And so if you're one who has particularly challenging menstrual cycles, a lot of pain, heavy flows, be sure to do this before, during, after, anytime, every day. This is all part in getting ultra grounded. Okay. And then men, we're going to draw a line or create a line of energy from your testicles and your prostate to the grounding cord. So that's almost like another Y. And we're going to ground. So right now, testes are not grounded. And this is really important for men because men are feeling so emasculated and so like they're disconnecting from the testosterone. That's really important part of that, what creates the male character. And so we're just grounding that. Okay, so there is a control being in the prostrate. Yeah, so we use a black flame right in that prostrate gland and transmute the control being that doesn't want the masculine energy to get grounded, male energy. Okay, great. So now let's see if that's grounded slowly. Looks like there's another watcher energy. It's partway down, grounding the prostrate. Use a rainbow flame so that we can really allow those testes and prostate to really get grounded. Okay, good. So I'm wondering if any of you are feeling more grounded with this added component of getting grounded. So this is ultra grounded. Great. So now, like, if you don't know any of the rest of this process called running your energy, and you just do these 5 parts to getting ultra grounded, that could solve a lot of problems for you. Could solve so many problems for you. So if you don't know the other stuff, just get really good at this, and then you can start adding more components. But we're going to do all of it today. So next, we're going to start connecting with pure source energy far above your heads. We're going to start bringing this pure energy. You can imagine it as a white light or a golden energy. Start bringing this energy down through your creative rings that are stacked above your head. And it's going to come down into your crown where it's actually stopping, where there's another control being. And so this is where you give yourself permission to have the life that you choose. So when we're not sovereign and we have all this interference here, it makes it really hard for us to be the boss of us. So let's clear this energy with a black flame. So this control being. Apeata papa onuye amakia anaye apakana otuye. Okay, so now we're bringing pure source into the crown, 6, right down through the throat. So we're going down through the central core. It's stopping right at that throat chakra and right at this throat chakra out to the 3rd layer. There's another control being that doesn't want to hear what you have to say. And as we know, there's a lot of censoring going on. It's been going on now for a couple of years, as we all know why. And so, yes. Okay, so as we're coming down through the throat, now it's still stuck there. There's some cords in the throat. So oftentimes we'll use a violet flame. In this case, we're going to use a black flame. So it's a much darker energy that wants to really keep our voice down. So let's use that black flame right at the throat, and it's going to transmute this energy so that we can feel more confident in our truth and being able to speak what we have to say, set really clear boundaries, being able to say no to things that are not in alignment with us, or being able to say yes to something we really would like to do. Okay, good. So now pure source is coming down through the throat into the heart where it's stopping again. It's going out to that 5th layer. So that's related to what we just cleared in the throat. 5th layer is communication, being able to communicate from your heart. So when our heart is open, full, grounded, it's going to be a lot easier to communicate from the heart. And we'll remove stuff like this in the heart that's not making it feel safe for us to speak that truth from the heart. Another control being. So let's use a black flame right in that heart chakra. This is such an important energy center that that gives us access to our infinite intelligence. All the things that we know, like the things that I know because I connect to my heart where the answers are. And there's actually, I wasn't planning on talking about this, but since we're here, there's rooms in the heart, and these rooms connect to our creative rings above our head. So when those two are working in harmony together, then it's a lot easier to communicate a message from our heart. People are able to hear it much easier. So for those of you who are in business, really important to have clear, open, grounded, flowing hearts. Okay, let's see if we can bring that down through the heart now. No, still there. Chords, okay. We're going to use a black flame to transmute all the chording that's going on in the heart chakra here. And when people chord to your heart, they're trying to make you feel bad about what you're doing or what you're not doing or whatever. And it's like pulling on the guilt strings to try and get you to do something instead, because they're not able to use their voice to ask for what they need. So people vibe you, and that's what these chords are about. All right, so let's see if it's clear now. No, we still have more stuff. Okay, good. That's the beauty of the system. We keep checking and checking and checking until it's clear. So right at the heart, okay, there is an energy that relates to the emerald flame. So the emerald flame and those energies, in fact, this is such a new interference that it doesn't really have a name, but it affects the 60th layer of our aura where the divine feminine lives. And so this energy showed up when I was working with a woman who we were clearing past life ritual abuse, current sexual abuse. So let's use an emerald flame here to control, or not to control, to clear the energy that's trying to control our hearts. So use that emerald flame. Poya ana ye tia na kukuma a papa na titia e a ma ye ku mutu ye. Aya ana tia guapa a kea na tu ye a ma chitikia. Okay, let's see if it's clear now. Coming through the heart. There it goes. Yay, yay, yay. See? Ah, good. The heart energy, the throat energy was so strong, woke you up last night. Okay, good. Well, I'm glad we're clearing that today. Yes, can breathe easier now. So we have pure source coming down through the heart into the solar plexus where it's stopping. Control beings, let's use a black flame. So as you're clearing this, this blocked energy is what makes you feel tired and unmotivated, maybe a little depressed, hard to get anything done. You really have to push and force and chase to get things done. So let's just clear all of that energy. Maybe feeling a little defeated, like a deflated balloon. Okay, so now as we're coming down through the solar plexus, there we go. Second chakra, yay, spilling down the root. All right, so now take a deep breath into this powerful alignment where we're connected way up high to pure source energy. And then we're rooted deeply, deeply into our Mother Earth. Super powerful alignment right here. While you're breathing into that, let me take a drink. Okay, great. And there's more. So let's go ahead now. We're going to mix these two energies. Pure source coming down the backside, earth energy coming up through the legs. Where those two meet at the root chakra, we're going to bring that 50-50 mixture up the front. So if this seems like a lot of steps, it is. Once you know the process, it becomes really pretty effortless. And so if you ever feel kind of lost, it might be a good idea for you to get my book, which is available on Amazon, Access Your Ultimate Power, The Blueprint to Infinite Intelligence. It outlines the whole system with illustrations and everything. So we're bringing this 50-50 mixture up the front through the second, where it's stopping. There's a lot of anger and rage here. So let's just start dropping that energy down the grounding cord. And we're going to use a black flame here in the second chakra to transmute the control being that's here. They love it when you're angry, so they often channel a lot of anger through people because this is their food. This is their fuel source. And so when we're angry, we're feeding the beast. So that's why I'm such a proponent of releasing all the excess anger that you might be using as a fuel source. It's not effective and it's not sustainable. We want to tap into our true power right at that solar plexus. Okay, so now as we're bringing this energy up through the solar plexus, still stopping there. The watchers, let's use a rainbow flame. So you don't even have to know where it is, how far out into your field it is. Just trust that this flame has intelligence. The flame knows where to go. It's just your job to put it there. Okay, good. because I'm actually everything that I talk about here. It might be new on some level to you, but I'm really just helping you remember what you already know. So that's these are just timeless, no time and space um, ways of operating with the energy field. Okay, let's see if we can bring this up through the solar plexus. Still there. Okay, chords. Black flame. Yes, these people that want to hold you back. That maybe you're going too fast for them. They're afraid you're going to leave. They're afraid whatever. That black flame is going to transmute this energy. You can also gently pull the energy out and just send it back to these people, but never, ever, ever, ever cut cords. You hear about that all the time, cutting of cords. So just like a tree, if you just cut the tree off, you have the whole stump and all of the root system still connected, and then it just grows back. So pull everything out, roots and all. See if we can come up through the solar plexus now. There we go. Slow, but it's coming through. Into the heart where it's stopping. More control beings. Let's use a black flame. Boya anayetia mikia papa guama inayeti kopuye. Okay, so as this 50-50 mixture is coming up through the heart, there it goes, throat, 6, where it's stopping. So there's some beliefs here that relate to feeling powerless. It goes out to that 3rd layer, more control beings. So all of these energies haven't even been you. Let's use a black flame right in that 6th chakra. Could transmute all of the beliefs that come with this control being, because this is how they operate. The powers that be use these energies, fear entities, control beings, etc., to control humanity. And they have their ways of transmitting thoughts, feelings that are not yours. But we've been so trained to believe that everything we think and feel must be ours. We are thinking it, we're feeling it, it's ours. Well, that's not true. That's not true. And so if you pay attention to how you felt when you started and how you feel when we're done, you're going to realize how much of what you're feeling is not yours. So as we're bringing this energy up through that 6th chakra and the crown, through all of the rings, let's let that cascade down through all the layers of the aura. Let's pay special attention to the 3rd layer, especially around the throat and the heart. So this is energy that operates much like the energy at your solar plexus. This is your 3rd layer is connected to the 3rd chakra. So it's all about power, holding your power down. So this might be another place where you're just feeling tired, or people in your energy field that bring you down, give you a bad case of gravity. Okay. 3. There's still some energy in this 3rd layer. It's the watcher energy. So let's use a circle around our root chakra in the 3rd layer and allow those flames to rise up through this 3rd layer and clear this watcher energy. So the watchers, they hang out in the, is it the 50th layer of our aura, just beyond the 40th layer, which is the layer of oneness. So they don't want that layer of oneness to expand, to keep expanding. So for those of you who've been following me for some time, know that we're gradually getting clearer and clearer and clearer in our energy field. This is all part of the expansion, whether you want to call it. It's expansion, ascension, evolution, transmutation, growth, whatever. It's all the same thing. All right, so we're going to jump out to the 15th layer where that 1% hang out. Start at the bottom. We're just going to lift this energy up through this energy field. When it gets to the top, send it off planet. Then we're going to do the 50th layer, the Watchers. Allow that rainbow flame, like a big circle, to come up through this layer, 50th layer. So a lot of it is around the heart, trying to keep that heart energy down. Just keep lifting that energy up. 50. Okay, it looks like the rest of the aura is clear. Now we're going to clear the circle of reciprocity. So we're going to start at the heart. Going to bring that energy out that right arm so it stops right at the shoulder. So you start to give, but then you stop. Maybe it's because, hey, nothing's coming back. So why give? So receiving starts with giving. That's just the mechanics of how receiving works. So we're bringing that energy out that right arm. We're going to put the fingertips together like you're holding a small ball. And we're going to allow the energy to come through the palms and through the fingertips. So it's coming through and into that left receiving arm, which is blocked. So as we're bringing this energy in, just know there is a control being there. Let's use a black flame, left hand, right at the left hand so that you can allow yourself to receive. Yeah, so this dark energy, all of these darker energies, they don't want us to thrive. They don't want us to, thrive. That just seemed like such a perfect word that I couldn't think of another word. So yes, they don't want us to thrive and really enjoy life as we know we are meant to and have the capacity. So bringing in that left receiving, which means that we need to surrender and allow and stop controlling, because that's the opposite of flow. When we're trying to control everything, we're not letting things flow. We're trying to control how things are going to flow. That actually impedes our ability to fully receive. Okay, there. So now it's coming up to the elbow, shoulder, keep going. And so for some of you who are used to controlling things, the phrase control freak comes up. I used to be one, so I know I might still be sort of one. And I also know how to allow the flow to come in and receive and fill yourself up. So this is how you self-generate love. We bring that heart energy out that right arm and we fill ourselves up in the left arm. Let it come down into the heart. Let that heart fill with your self-generated love. You don't have to go outside looking for this. That's another one of their things. They want us to be distracted and always searching on the outside for everything when all of the answers are deeply inward. And so that's what we're doing here with this process. We're going inward. We're finding all the things that don't allow us to really thrive, to become the greatest humans that we can possibly be. So as that energy is flowing through the heart and the throat and the sixth and the crown and the rings, excellent. So that's the process of running your energy. I want to check a few more things, but I'm curious to hear how you're feeling different now than when you started. Do you feel calmer? Do you feel more alert? Do you feel more inspired or whatever? I'm not going to put words in your mouth. I'll let you decide how you feel. Feel very tired now. Well, that's excellent. You're back in your body. So this is what I was talking about earlier when we have all these energies going when we have these energies going on in our bodies, that it feels uncomfortable. So we leave the body and we don't really know what's going on here. So when this process gets you back in your body, you're going to realize how disconnected you've been and how tired your body has been. Maybe you're not getting enough rest. Maybe you don't take naps in the afternoon because that's for old ladies. But if your body needs rest, listen to your bodies. And so thank you for bringing that point up. It's common. More empowered. Great, Terry or Tare, Santi. So much lighter and relieved. Good. More motivated. Excellent. I'm sleepy. Well, yes. So this is the same thing as what I was talking about with Lisa. Is that so? There's another part that's coming up. So I just already talked about. Now you're back in your body, so now you can feel how tired it is. But oftentimes when we're doing these meditations and you're like you fall asleep, you keep falling asleep, that's not a bad thing. What's happening is you're releasing unconscious energy. So here we are on this path of ascending, becoming more conscious, more aware, more expanded. And so there's energies between us and that state. So that energy is unconsciousness. And so as that energy starts to release, we often start to fall asleep or we feel really tired. We can't open our eyes. So that is also not a bad thing. How do we get our minds to shift from old skepticism patterns to open ways to that clearly works? That this clearly works. Practice. Once you know that it works once, it'll make you want to go back and try it again and again and again, which is a perfect segue to what I wanted to share with you for those of you who love coming here every week and experiencing this, that you have the opportunity to practice with us every single day for 18 days. We're starting our next 18-day program on next Thursday, September 1st. So this is a chance for you to spend 20 minutes every day running your energy. So we're going to do this Monday through Friday. And I'll be in the background just like I am here, making sure everything is clear and moving. And so in this process of 18 days, every day builds on the next. So every day we're focusing on something new and going deeper and deeper and making sure that all of these core interferences are gone every single day. No cords, no fear entities, no control beings, no watchers, no discarnate beings. We make sure that we release spells and curses. And so every day we're doing something a little different, and we're going to be addressing those 4 topics that we talked about earlier in this presentation. We're going to be addressing things related to relationships. We're going to be addressing things related to money, raising those money vibrations, getting aligned, things related to your business and creating an avatar so that your business is clear and aligned, things related to your health. So all of these things are so important to having a thriving life and experiencing joy every single day. And so this is now open to the public, and doors are now officially open. So that's great. And there's a couple things that I really wanted to encourage people to check out. So you can check out everything that we're offering here. And it comes with a couple of bonuses so that if you join today, that you can start participating in these bonuses, one of which because today's the new moon, or no, tomorrow is the new moon. One of the bonuses is the Dream Architect Toolkit. I used to do monthly or quarterly workshops on how to create a really, really, really powerful vision boards. And so I love it just as a creative expression. It's just one added component on how to keep you focused on your dreams and your desires. Just doing a vision board in and of itself may not help you realize your dreams if you're not grounded or present, right? So that's the beauty of being able to do this whole 18-day process with your vision board. Like you could get the program today and start your vision board today, and working with the energies of the new moon, which lasts for 3 days before, 3 days after the new moon. So you could have your vision board finished before we even start the program. And so you have a really great way to anchor what it is that you want to create during these 18 days. So that's just one bonus. Then there's also the mini course, Ready for My Breakthrough, which addresses fear and anger. You don't want either of those before we amplify all these other energies. And then there's also the one about money, raising your money vibrations. I can't remember the exact title of it, but at any rate, yes. So those are at least 3 of the bonuses that I can think of offhand that you can start accessing immediately if you would like to join today. And then there's one other thing I wanted to talk about that relates to this program, and that is that we're also offering a vibrational altitude report. So you get 2 for the price of one at the beginning, one at the end, which comes with a 30-minute conversation that you can use anytime during these 18 days. If you're getting stuck, we can have a 30-minute conversation. We can dive in a little deeper to what it is that you're really struggling with. And so all of that is, it's optional, but it is definitely an upgrade that I highly suggest if you're one of these people who've been going along saying, oh, I can't afford to work with her. Such a valuable way of getting so much value for your investment. So that is what we were offering today. And I just want to check a couple other things before I send you off. And that is the energy of anger or fear. So let's measure those. The energy of fear is at 15%. Let's go to the root chakra, out to that 3rd layer, and we're just going to pull in that fear. That fear stops us, right? So if there's any fear, it starts with just a little, and then it builds and it builds. And then before you know it, you're contracted and you don't have a grounding cord anymore. Okay, good. So fear still there. Let's use a black flame. There's a control being right there, keeping some of that fear in place. And so can you imagine if you do this every day for 18 days? It's phenomenal. There's a whole bunch of testimonies that you can also take a peek at and see how other people, the magic that they've been able to create. Okay, fear 0. Let's also do the energy of anger. Is at 50%. So at 50%, you're not going to feel angry, but you're going to feel annoyed, frustrated, a little kind of judgmental of yourself or others. And it's kind of that buzzy feeling that you're just kind of irritated all the time. Let's eliminate that. It's not a fun way to operate. Going to go to the root chakra, out to that 3rd layer. And so this anger, you might be using it as a way of feeling safe. But you always have access to your anger. Like when we release this, I'm not taking anger away. We're just releasing the excess anger that's really hard on your nervous system to operate like this every day. The 30 minutes were amazing and very helpful. I thought it was COVID. I'm not sure what you're referring to, Babs. Thought, well, what was COVID? At any rate, okay, so we're releasing excess anger in the root. Okay, so we dropped it down to 15% by clearing that energy in the root, but we want to get all of it. Let's go to the 6th chakra, out to that 3rd layer. So there's a belief that we need anger to get things done, or to like maybe create a boundary. So when we drop into our hearts and speak our truth from there, it's a lot easier for people to hear what we have to say. Okay, there we go. Anger. Okay, anger is at 0. So notice if you feel a little calmer, just with that last final little thing, making sure anger is gone. And so this is what we're going to be doing every day for 18 days. We spend 20 minutes every morning. And for those of you who know my process, you have maybe worked with me in the past. There's also the advanced program where we do morning and evening. And in the evenings, we dive even deeper and we clear energies that are for advanced people. So it might be, it would be a bit too much for people who are new or just starting. So explore that page. Let us know if you have questions. Yes. And so the altitude report, if you were thinking of getting an altitude report anyway, you might want to consider doing it as part of this whole program. And you'll get two reports, two for one. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. So great having all of you here. I am back in Southern California for a couple more weeks, 2-3 more weeks. And I'm horse sitting and bunny sitting. So it's been great learning about the energy field in horses. So today she was feeling kind of mopey and sad. She misses her mama. Anyway, so great having you all here. I will see you next week. Go off and enjoy your weekend. Get connected with nature. Get ultra grounded. Practice this getting ultra grounded throughout the week. And we will see you back here next week and hopefully on Thursday for our opening day of the 18-day program. Sending so much love. Namaste.
It's been really incredible for me, like to be able to shift the stories around, where I had felt like I had been taken advantage of, like with financially, and I shifted all of those stories and, was able to have really deep compassion for myself in recognizing that rather than feeling like a victim, I just was really able to clear that. This has had profound effect on my romantic relationship. It has just taken it to such another level. I know for me, the two have always been really kind of tangled together. So it's really felt like it's really cleared that. And I literally last week, I was going through some of my paperwork, which I'd kind of been avoiding. And I suddenly realized, I looked at my bank account and all of a sudden I'm getting all this extra money. And I'm like, where is that coming from? And I literally don't really even need to work. And I'm like, this is wild. And I didn't even have that in my space. So yeah, this has been really, really incredible. It opened a lot for me.
Great. That is so excellent to hear. And I love that this has also opened up your relationship space because I know we've been opening the channels for receiving, so it doesn't really matter what the receiving is. Money is just one piece. Love is another part of an abundance of love, so how we do anything is how we do everything. And so I so love to hear that it's helped such a broad spectrum of your life.
Mm-hmm. It really has. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
For me, the last 18 days have been extraordinary. I've done many of your programs before and continue to do the work in my work. And this last 18 days was just a pivoting point for me. So much happened in just a short period of time. My work schedule got so full, and people were just coming in and bringing me money, even when I forgot to say, you know, you owe something or whatever. I took a major, what I thought in the beginning, risk to take a 2-week vacation, and I've never done that before. And honestly, my schedule got full before, and it's full for the week I get back and into October. So, wow, I sold a piece of art for a substantial amount of money. Some artists say that they get into feeling lack selling their art, and I didn't even think about it. I just literally had it up on the wall for a day or two. Client came in and said, how much? I gave an amount, and they wrote the check. I was like, it's that effortless. I started a children's art camp, which was really great. And then I have been working on creating my global vision. One of the things that I really love is staying on track and checking in and clearing my own energy every single day, like every morning and every evening, and just getting into the practice and have the support of others in a group. It's wonderful. I feel in total gratitude to you, Kimberly, for doing these programs. They're amazing. And yeah, much love. Thank you so much.
Had so much transformation in these 18 days, and I did the prior was it the 21 day, and this 18 days has definitely felt more transformational for me in many parts of my life, as well as financially. So I don't worry about money. I know it's coming. I have a lot of gratitude. I do need to put more effort into my intentions, I think, but this has been very, very, very beneficial. I've done a lot of transformational trauma work. You know, the gifts keep on coming, and I'm just really appreciative for this class. Thank you, Kimberly.
Thanks so much for being here. Yes, you're so
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah,
And
it's been great.
to see your expansion as well.
I was on the last session, the last 18 day, and the epiphany for me was I could sell my business. And I'm like, you know, and for me, my business, I need money, I need this and that. And in one day, I said I could sell my business. And that's what's happened last time. And then we had the break, and I could tell I was on break. My action stopped. My positivity stopped. I thought I would, have some money through the crypto and through the blockchain stuff, and that crashed. And it's still in that space. But now that I've started this class, I got back into action. I'm more positive. I feel like, of course,
my business, what have I been doing? Come on. And I could totally tell that I had stopped everything. And when we jumped into this class, I'm now, today I'm negotiating a price for my business. I am kind of sure, but not really what I want to do next. I don't care what I want to do. Like, I know it's going to come. It's just everybody who's not here yet, you will get there. It just takes that one little bit of faith and getting and making, and I don't know what you know what it is, Kimberly. It's all about energy, and when it comes, and you'll see it, and you'll start believing it, and it'll just be a roller coaster. It'll just keep going.
Yeah.
Momentum will keep you going, and everyone will get there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's consistency that, and so I love that you shared how, like, what happened when in between programs, when you like just stopped doing everything, and then everything reflected that, right?
Yeah.
And so then when you got back on board, then things started showing up again. So that really emphasizes the need to stay consistent. That's why this is a practice. We're practicing here, but it's not to just like throw up your hands when we're done. Like, keep the practice going so that your life, your energy, your frequency stays high. You can, because you're going to keep attracting what you are. You know, the rings don't care what it amplifies. So the more we stay in these high frequencies consistently, the more our life is going to affect that. Yes.
And I just wanted to say again, thank you.
You're
Mhm.
so welcome.
I'm so blessed to know you and to be in your space.
Thank you, my dear. So great to have all of you guys here.